And pretty soon people are like, wow, you know, I think we're going to help them now. And that's what happened with the Robbins family. They got involved, and they've done amazing work, and of course others too. But and the great thing is these meetings are televised, so you might reach someone that might get involved. They might, you never know. You know what I mean? So, but like the politicians, my hope's definitely not in them. And so, anyways, does anyone else would like to speak?
Hi everyone, sorry I got here a little late. My name's Sheena. I'm a social worker and a researcher. And I'm currently working on an initiative in the LA Promise Zone, which is one of the most high poverty areas in our entire country, to bring an assessment tool to our schools to start assessing our students for poor housing conditions and housing instability indicators, because the numbers of homeless students are going up, and those aren't even being looked at because we're so overwhelmed with trying to tackle chronic homeless adults that are on the streets. Children living in overcrowded situations or housing that has rodent infested and lead paint that's chipping. This is all horrible for child development, and we taxpayers are going to be responsible for the outcomes that occur later due to the fact that we're allowing children to grow up in these horrible situations in such a wealthy county. Our federal government has not been funding Section 8 adequately for many, many years, which has left single moms alone and abandoned. Many of them stuck doing sex work just to get by. We are going to have to hold our county accountable to funding some kind of rental assistance program for these populations. If we don't get that done, we'll see homelessness continue to increase. It's just a matter of fact. And what our counties and cities are doing is hiring more law enforcement and more mental health professionals like myself to respond to the mental health symptoms that are occurring, because homelessness is traumatic. And believe it or not, the experience that a lot of police are having to have to deal with the mental health symptoms without any training is actually traumatic for them too. And then they have their own poor health outcomes. They have the highest domestic violence rates than any other profession. That's not because they're just born evil. There's a culture that's existing in law enforcement that's toxic, and it's hurting their own families too. And they need our help too. They need us to stand up for them because they're being put in situations they're not equipped to be in. And some of them are going to have major PTSD from potentially killing some of these innocent people. As those lists were read off, it touched my heart because Justin Hurdle was my dad's best friend's son, and I grew up playing with him. So it's just crazy to think that just out of a list of names that small, I know somebody personally that was killed by the police who was suffering from mental health symptoms and who really he had a severe addiction disorder, he really needed mental health support. And in a wealthy family, that often is the response that they can offer to their family. And I agree with Renee, we need to step up more and help our family and friends who are suffering and who are vulnerable and who are suffering with mental health symptoms because of trauma and stress that they're under, and take care of them when our government is not. Because it's going to be a while before we can change the leadership and get better leaders in who will actually use the funding to take care of the people. In the meantime, we are going to have to create these grassroots movements where we just step up and take care of each other. I'm doubled up with my dad who's on SSI right now, and I encourage everyone to do what you got to do to keep your family from being forcibly displaced, because forced displacement is also stressful and traumatic, and people are getting into new communities where they have no resources. So moving people out to cheaper places or whatever is the worst answer I've ever heard. And when I hear it, I try to educate people. We need more education. There's too many people who don't understand homelessness, don't understand that the federal government stopped funding Section 8 and what that did to our communities, don't understand that when Reagan closed the community mental health centers, people were left out dry. Poor families who can't afford to support somebody who doesn't have a high income or is on a fixed income, these people are going to be left out in the streets if we don't create programs for them. In the past, when we had adequate programs, we had way less homelessness. We don't have to, it's not rocket science. We don't have to invent any new way. We just need to go back to the old ways. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for creating this space. Your music is honestly creating good energy. It reminds me of like the Maharishi effect when a lot of people meditate and crime rates go down and stuff. So keep doing that. It's like magic. I love it.
Woo! Thank you, Sheena.
Woo, Sheena!
You want to speak one? Okay, this one thing I wanted to share too. Mondays there's a meeting. Housing is a human right of Orange County. I think it's Mondays at 7 o'clock. So if anyone want to go to that, but that's something I think we need to get to too, is that housing needs to be a right for all in America. Can we all agree with that?
Yes.
Amen. So if it's a right, then it can't be a commodity. It can't be bought and sold. right? Everyone has a right to it. That'll change everything. So if we can get that right for all mankind in our country, that would be a wonderful thing. But go ahead. Anyone would like to speak? Yeah, oh, good. Yes, Heidi. Here you go.
Hi, I'm Zimmerman. I'm from Homeless Angel Foundation, and I work with the homeless that are in the streets. And I just want to say that I'm so happy that each one of you are here. This is amazing, the energy that we have here. Each one of you are leaders in this movement, in this beginning of this revolution. My role is a little different. I work directly with the homeless that are constantly being harassed, and this list here of people that are killed by Anaheim police, you think that's a bad list? Well, when you get down to the list of the homeless that are being killed in the streets by the county and by Anaheim, I know these people personally, and I know there's a movie where you're saying, when I see dead people, well, I hate to say it, but when I walk down the streets of Anaheim, I see dead people, and I see my friends dead. I found my friends dead in the streets of Anaheim. I have pictures of my friends dying in the streets of Anaheim, and the problem is getting more serious. I mean, somehow we made 1,400 people disappear out of the riverbed, but I know those people, they're still here. They're hidden behind that bush over there, they're behind by that building over there. Those people are still in the streets. We made 1,400 people disappear out of view, but they're still stuck in the streets. It's really important that we stick together. These people are dying. I mean, on my phone, I'm getting messages every couple of days that somebody's dying, and we're not keeping track of what happened to those 1,400 people. And the city of Anaheim, right here, right up there, they're all patting themselves up in the back that they think they're doing a great job, but they're killing people. Let's just be honest about what the city council is doing. They're killing people in the streets. The county board of supervisors, they're killing people. When you push people around and you don't give them a home and you make them lie in the streets and you keep on making them move, and Anaheim PD keeps on making them move night after night after night, it's a shame. And we have the Martin case. We've already brought 4 lawsuits against the county. We've also included Anaheim. I just want to say thank you very much for Lou Noble, who's been a great activist. Also with Joshua, they've been with me in the streets. When I see the homeless are being swept, a sweep is planned, I can count on Joshua to come, I can count on Lou to come, I can count on the cameramen to come, and they have been documenting the sweeps that happen in the street. Those people are suffering and dying. You can't just keep on pushing people around. They take their belongings away. This is still happening even now after all these lawsuits against the county. Anaheim PD has gotten worse than ever. And I'm just praying for the right words, that we all come together. We are killing people here. In San Francisco, homeless are allowed to stay in the streets, but here, if you're in the streets, you get arrested. You get arrested, your belongings are taken away, your phone's taken away, your clothes are taken away, and then you exited out of the jail with absolutely nothing, not even a phone to make a phone call. This is the reality that we live in, and it's getting worse. The only good news I have to say is that more and more people like you are coming together, and I do appreciate Joshua was saying about the meeting, come on the Monday night meeting for housing as a human right. This group is growing. I just want to say that sometimes I get really depressed about what I see, but when I come here, this is healing to me. To see each one of you here, come here, even so far in your lives has been great meeting you. Each one of you to come here, your leaders, and we're healing each other. We're healing this planet. This planet is sick. It's like a cancer, and we are the cure to the cancer that's killing the human population. We are the cure. We are the antibodies. We are going to cure this planet, and we're going to turn it into a beautiful place, which is how God meant for it to be. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time. I love you all very much. Keep it up, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. You've been doing some great work. Really appreciate it. Does anyone else like to speak? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Elias.
So, something that this got me thinking about a lot, because I think a lot of people, like, to ignore homelessness and just not look at it and almost see homeless people as almost a completely different class of people and not just as people. And I looked up a statistic today, a report that said that 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So that's like more than 3/4 of the whole country from a lost job, you know, or a medical emergency away from being homeless. And I don't think that the solution, while I totally believe that more shelters are super helpful, I think that it's also not a long-term solution because the shelters can never hold as many people as need the help. And something that I've been thinking about, recently we came from a permaculture convergence and there was this Indigenous Peoples panel, and it got me thinking about an initiative. Like, you know, when people vote, they come out and vote on all these things like, are we gonna label GMOs? Are we gonna privatize charter schools? Are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do that? And an idea to say, would you vote for returning 25 to 50% of all BLM land to Native American Indigenous peoples? And that was something that came from that panel. And then since talking to Lou and then thinking about the homelessness issue, I got to thinking of the bigger picture of how really it's an issue about land, like just dislocated people in general. This country has been founded on that and doing that forever. And I think something like that, initiatives where we're having conversations with the city council, people at the city level, the state level, the national level, about reallocating some of this land for people that need it. We have more than enough land and resources, and that's something that I've been sitting with a lot. It's just human rights in general, and I feel like it's something that needs to seed in multiple places. I am just starting to research who to reach out to that would help with such initiatives. I think California is a great place to start something like that, but I think doing that across the world, and I think also connecting with our communities and our Native American communities and the urban communities, and all of us connecting, because all of this is stolen land that now they're saying is own real estate, no trespassing everywhere. You can't sleep here after 6. You can't bring a blanket, to lay in the park, when really they don't have a right to say that. If there are people that need a place to sleep, there is land where they can go to. And I believe that we don't even need the money. I believe that even if they reallocated some of the land, that we have, enough wood, tools, people that have the skills and the resources to even build our own villages, if they would just allow a space for us to do that. So that's something that's been on my mind a lot.
Yeah.
That is so true, and the reality is